Well, hello, my beautiful astrology BFFs, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to the newcomers. I thank you so much for following my channel. You probably found me during the daily astrology updates that I did in September because holy heck, was that some astrology, and I knew it. I knew it looking at that month. I'm thinking to myself, look, I think people are going to need some coaching with the cosmos. I think some people are going to need some support. So I got online and I did it. And yes, I am so darn proud of myself. And so now I'm doing weeklies on my YouTube channel. So please do follow for that. And just for the newcomers, I do every single moon. I do the new moon, I do the full moon. And in this particular video, we're going to be talking about the full moon at 14 degrees Aries. That's hitting on October 6th, perhaps on the 7th, depending where you are on the planet. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, so I do PST. This full moon is 14 degree Aries at 9:47 p.m. PST. So she will be full La Luna on the 6th, but for a lot of other people in the world, it will be on the 7th. So I'm going to do a forecast of this particular full moon in Aries. And then I'm going to do an all signs forecast so that you can find out the area of life that this particular full moon is hitting for you by pulling out your natal birth chart. If you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, you can send me a message. I can help you find out your rising sign so that you can know where Aries falls in your natal birth chart. And of course, I do astrology readings. You can join my membership. I meet with members at the new moon and the full moon, and everybody gets a mini astrology reading from me every single moon phase so that you can know how to navigate this in your own life. So you can sign up for those if you want. The links will be in the description. I also do coaching. I have a coaching container for 4 months if that is of interest to you as well. And then my books are available on Amazon. This one I'm always talking about. This is the Shadow Workbook, but I also have a moon journal to help you navigate. So all sorts of different supports. And if you just are coming here to hear the astrology on YouTube, that is awesome too. I'm so happy to have you along. So let's talk about this one. It's 14 degrees Aries, October 6th. So we just survived the eclipse season. So I was actually just filming with Joanna, my podcast co-host, Joanna the Healer. She's a YouTube sensation. Go follow her if you're not already. She has millions of followers. No, I think over 100,000. So she's definitely a YouTube sensation. And we do Demystifying Divinity every Tuesday morning. We do a new topic that we talk about. And we were just talking about what came through for her. She really brought it up. She said her guides gave her these 6 tips, these 6 signs that you have in fact quantum leapt onto a new timeline. And that's exactly what eclipses do. So I'm filming this early October. This full moon is October 6th. And so the eclipses happened in September. So September 7 and September 21, those were the eclipses. And that's exactly what eclipses do. And if you're watching astrology videos, if you're listening to Demystifying Divinity on Spotify or Apple, if you are at all interested in up-leveling your life and self-awareness and the ascension journey, self-evolution, if you're at all interested in that, then you're probably feeling it. You're probably feeling like you are on a new timeline. And like we were talking about on the podcast, you might not have a tangible physical thing that is obvious that you're on a new timeline, but you're feeling it. And your words are changing, and you're not so emotionally pulled toward the drama and all those sorts of things. Go and listen to our podcast. It was great. But this full moon is really going to bring all that up. And I want to talk about it because we survived the Mars square Pluto, didn't we? It's still kind of happening. It's still kind of happening. It's phasing out now as I film this, okay? The Mars square Pluto, that happened right after the second eclipse. So in that last week, last 2 weeks of September, and I was telling you, this is the hardest astrology of the year. This is the hardest astrology. And then actually, the day that it hit was September 26th. Now I'm remembering. The day that Mars started its square with Pluto was September 26th. And I said that's the day that you're probably going to get in a car accident. Sure as surely, Joanna got in a car accident on that day. My goodness, I hate it when I'm right. I hate it when the astrology is right, but that's exactly what September 26th started things like car accidents, accidents in general, and that rage bubbling up. That rage bubbling up. Okay, so now Mars moves on, okay? Mercury takes its spot, and now Mercury is squaring Pluto at the time of this full moon. And what does that mean? It means that that rage that Mars was building, maybe we haven't quite gotten it out. Maybe we didn't quite punch that pillow. Maybe we didn't quite do the shadow work. Maybe we didn't sit with that rage and go, okay, rage, what are you trying to teach me? I'm no longer going to be disowning you now. That anger I'm feeling, that knee-jerk reaction that I just did, or that pattern that I'm noticing in my life. I keep doing this darn thing, or I keep thinking, my mindset continues to go there. I continue to be offended. I continue to take it personally. It's that thing. It's that thing that Mars squaring Pluto was trying to bring up to the surface for you. Now that Mercury is taking Mars's spot, now that Mercury is squaring Pluto, for a lot of people, Mercury rules our words. Mercury rules our thoughts. Mercury rules what we're writing. So for a lot of people, that rage is gonna come out. And so hoping that in your social circles, in your families, you're not on the other end of getting verbal abuse. Hoping that's not happening for you. Hoping that you're not going out to the grocery store and you're in the parking lot and someone just starts yelling at you, or you're out on the road and someone just is honk honk and has some words and road rage and all the things, hoping that isn't going to happen for you, and hoping that you're taking the advice that I gave on the dailies to be the great observer and just going, oh, okay, so she's very upset over there. Oh, okay, so politics are dividing humanity over there. Oh, okay, so oh, okay. That's how, because I'm an observer and I'm staying neutral, hoping that advice that I was giving basically every day is still hitting. Hopefully, you're still doing that. Hopefully, you are becoming the great observer of your life, because this full moon in Aries with the square to Pluto could really bring out the rage. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars was squaring Pluto. So Mars was bubbling up a lot of stuff. Did we deal with it? Did we get the anger out? Did we honor the anger? Did we honor that sacred rage? Did we transmute it? Did we do something about it? Did it make us make a decision? Did that rage boiling within make us say, I am finally going to do this darn thing? Because if not, because if that rage just boils up to that surface, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. The astrology, the cosmos will guarantee it. So already, if you have an Aries moon, I'm going to grab my moon journal here. This is my moon journal. You can available on Amazon. Already, if you have a moon in Aries, you might be a very emotional person, or a moon in the first house. You might just be very emotional. You might be a very knee-jerk reaction type of person. And this is something for you to intuitively and emotionally work on in your life if you have a moon in Aries. These moon in Aries people are very emotional because they are ruled by Mars, and Mars is the god of war. Mars, in its highest expression, is also the great pioneer, the great leader, the holy, okay, I know what to do now. I'm going to do the damn thing, and just does the damn thing. And so, high vibing moon in Aries person is a great hero. So, a lot of Aries moon people are firefighters, are police officers, foster moms. They save the dogs, they save the whales. That's a lot of moon Aries people. So I'm going to read from my book what it's like to have an Aries moon or a moon in the first house, since this is an Aries full moon that's happening on October 6th. So if you were born with an Aries moon or a moon in the first, you are a born warrior and protector with unshakable strength and the courage and a wholehearted approach to life. Okay, fabulous. That's high vibe and Aries moon people, and I love it. I'm here for it. Look, I'm a hardcore Aries woman. I have my sun in Aries. I have my Jupiter conjunct my sun in Aries, and I also have my Chiron in Aries. I'm a hardcore Aries woman. Okay. Someone with an Aries moon can have addictions and obsessions with self, such as being a workaholic. If so, your energy can be depleted almost completely because you focus only in one direction, usually involving yourself. Because Aries rules the first house, it's all about self, it's the I am. And so, low vibing Aries moon, we all go through highs and lows as an Aries, and any sign goes through highs and lows. And you can become obsessed with yourself if you have your moon in Aries. If disaster strikes, you're the person for the job. You need to be a hero. So, like I said, firefighter, foster mom, animal rescuer, etc. But be sure to follow through because big promises can be a problem because you're so passionate in the moment as an Aries moon person, but that moment can quickly fade. So, you're very reactive and you can be demanding. You will show your frustration, happiness, anger right away by your reaction. So like an Aries moon person, your heart is like it's just there. You know exactly how they feel. There's no hiding their feelings. So that's what an Aries moon feels like. We're coming up to this Aries full moon, and it's going to feel like that. You're going to feel like that whether your moon is in Aries or not, and you're also going to see it out there in the people. So, low vibing Aries moon might be a lot of people that are self-obsessed, thinking only of themselves, want to fight and war because it's ruled by Mars. Aries is ruled by Mars. And again, we've just gone through Mars, the ruling planet of this particular full moon, Mars squaring Pluto, and now Mercury's taking the place where Mars left off, getting us to get it out. So, a great way to do it using this energy would be to write in your journal. Here it is. Here's my sacred rage. Get it out, get it out, get it out. Another great thing to do is write that letter to that person, that rascal. Dear rascal, you and it's out. You get it out because you're writing it. Mercury rules your thoughts and you got to get it out. And then you burn it. You don't send it to the rascal. Don't send it to Mr. Rascal or Ms. Rascal. Burn it. Aries and Mars rules fire. It's perfect. It's a perfect thing to do under the Aries full moon. Use the fire element and get it out and be your own hero. That is Aries energy at its finest. Being your own hero, being the warrior, not a worrywart, a warrior. Be your own hero. Do it. Maybe you're the first person to do it. Well, that's great because Aries is a pioneer. The first always goes first, very courageous and bold and takes the leap. So that's the energy we're all trying to harness because you might see a lot of people with explosive words. Not to mention on the 3rd of October, so just 3 days prior to this full moon. So it's still in that, even though it's not on the day, it's still in that energy. On the 3rd of October, you'll see in my weekly update that the South Node and Venus conjunct, they're exact together in Virgo. So that is a lot about breakups. That is a lot about karmic relationships coming to an end. So you might get ghosted by your best friend. You might even been best friends for years and years and years. Suddenly she dumps you. Suddenly the husband, it's over. Like a lot of relationships are ending on October 3rd and into this full moon. And so it might bring up a lot of the rage. And I encourage you highly, just you're not going to solve the problem in a rageaholic fight. You're just not. Not saying that you should never speak to the person ever again, but not under this energy. This is a full moon in Aries, ruled by Mars, with that square happening where and it's just like a lot of boiling rage might be around this weekend. Let's just put it that way. Okay. But remember, we've got that also in the sky is that grand trine that I was talking a lot about in throughout my daily updates in September. We've got Uranus, where are we? Saturn and Pluto trining. It's not to the moon, but it's at the same time. And it was happening in September with all that hard astrology, and it's still happening at this full moon where a lot of people might be raging and just explosive words and just like very hurtful, cutting words. Just try to remember that those outer planets are still trining, still promising us a whole new world, a whole new way of being, a timeline on a much higher timeline for our to get to our future self. It's there. And also in the sky at the time of this full moon, Jupiter is trining Saturn. So another beautiful trine. There are trines. These outer planets are trying to say, look, if it leaves, if they lose it, if they're showing you their true colors, if they ghost you, even if you put out so much energy into that relationship for years, maybe, and you weren't seen and you were abused or what, like, even if they're the ones that are leaving you, ghosting you, dumping you, whatever it is, blaming you, saying terrible things to you, just know that these trines that are happening at the same time as this full moon are saying there's another way, there's another timeline. There are people out there that are more in alignment with you. So if it happens, if it's over, please do say goodbye. So, and another main tip that I will say again, don't engage. Don't engage in the fighting words because that's exactly, it's boiling up. It's just like coming out. So get out the pen, do it on your own journaling, burn it. Don't send it. Don't press send. Okay. Let's have a mantra, a hero's journey mantra at the time of this full moon, because when there's a full moon, doesn't matter what sign it's in, when there's a full moon in a dark sky, it illuminates all those things we can't see in the dark. This one has an Aries flavor. Aries is in its highest expression, is the leader, is the pioneer, is the warrior. Again, not worry war, the warrior. And it's about you being your own hero. So it's the hero's journey, right? That is a high vibing Aries. Aries also rules things like entrepreneurs, doing it on your own, you know, doing the damn thing, making the decision. Taking the leap. That is high vibe and Aries all the way. Shadow vibe, there's a lot of shadow vibe Aries stuff. And trust me, I have been there, done that with all of the shadow vibe Aries because I am such a hardcore Aries woman that I've been high vibe and I've been low vibe. I've been everything in between when it comes to Aries. So I know this energy very well. Low vibe and shadow vibe Aries people are extremely immature and they fight and it's knee-jerk reaction and it's poor me, victim stuff. Oh, heck yes. Do I know that energy? Okay. Okay. Just amateur. It's the first sign. It's the toddler of the whole zodiac. So we can be the immature brats. Oh, heck yes, we can be. So you might be seeing a lot of that out there. And again, my great advice as well, not only writing and burning and just getting it out, and not sending and not like engaging. That's all great advice too. But it's like be the observer and see it. You'll see it. You'll see it all around you with not only because the full moon is in Aries, but also because of that square with Mercury to Pluto happening right after the square and Mars. Okay, here's the hero's journey mantra at the time of this full moon in Aries. This is your warrior. activation. Okay. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. That is that is high vibe in Aries. I can just imagine. I always talk about him, Archangel Michael with his sword of truth. So if Mercury is squaring Pluto, may your words carry the vibration of truth. And if need be, not because you are fighting or engaging in a fight, but if need be, your words will speak truth. And it's that sword of truth that Archangel Michael brings through. That is so high vibe in Aries. And again, that hero journey mantra is I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. That's where you're going to find your people. That's where you're going to find all the dream job. That's where like it's all going to unfold. And if it leaves, and if they want to just continue fighting like immature brats, let them. Okay, that was my rant. I'm going to go into a to all signs forecast, Aries through to Pisces, so that you can find where this full moon is illuminating for you, and you can have that Aries, that warrior activation, hero's journey mantra in this particular area of your life. Because what happens at a full moon is it, like I was saying, it illuminates in the dark sky what you normally can't see. And it's the end, it's the culmination point. It has come to its ripeness, its fullness. It is now over. It's the indication that that is done so that we can start a new phase. So that's what a full moon always does. It always shows you the end. Like this has come to its end, and now we shall move on. So let's see where 14 degrees of Aries in the sky is illuminating for you. Okay, Aries, first house. If you are an Aries rising, this full moon is illuminating your first house. So it's any area of your life. First house rules your entire life. There's something there that has come to an end. There's something there where you are being called to step onto your hero's journey. Close that door. It's over. There's no need to fight. There's no need to prove your point. Talk to yourself to your blue in the face because I need to say my thing. I need to write it and I need it said. So there's something that is like, okay, no more. Now it's your first house. It could be any area of your life. It could also be your body. The first house rules the body. Okay, so maybe a issue with your weight, with your health. It could be anything when it's your first house. And so it's the full moon saying it's the end, close the door, no need for fighting. And the warrior activation shall begin. The hero's journey mantra in your first house is I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. So you know what is over now. Aries rising, this is your first house. You might feel some anxiety whenever there's a moon, especially a full moon activating your first house. You might feel the anxiety and know that that's okay. And you don't need to engage in any of the drama that may or may not be happening around you. For you to take that step back and know that you are being activated to get onto a higher timeline. So all the best, Aries rising, because this one's hitting that first house. Okay, Taurus rising, 12th house. Taurus rising, 12th house. Okay, so this is truly the end of the road for you because the 12th house is the final sign. Okay, and a full moon is always the end. It's like the end of a cycle. It's ripe now. It's come to its fruition, the culmination point. It's over. And so the 12th house is very similar, right? Because it's the end of the zodiac. This is it. It's over. So for you, it might be an internal shift that you've got to stop the internal battle. Like, are you fighting with someone in your own mind? Have you like said the script out a million times, what I would say to her? Oh, this is what I would say to her. So this is all happening in your own mind. It's got to go, right? The subconscious might still be, ruling you. And so those knee-jerk reactions or those patterns that just keep showing up in your life and they're not serving you, that might be coming to fruition. 12th house also rules addictions. So something might be shown to you, and addictions are anything from booze and drugs to Netflix and sugar. So, and everything in between. So, if it's an addiction issue for you, Taurus rising, for you, you might need to, it's come to its end and it's no longer serving you. 12th house is also things like hospitals and rehab centers, orphanages, those institutions. So something has come to an end there for you, perhaps, Taurus. No need to fight. No need to go into all the drama of it all, Taurus. It's time for you to have the warrior activation. And it's the end. It's the final sign. This is in your 12th house, so it's over. And it might be plaguing you in your own subconscious mind, and it's showing up in repeated patterns and negative loops. And it's up to you to take responsibility and to end that once and for all. And again, it could be addictions and it could have to do with those institutions that I mentioned. Could also do with your dream state. So perhaps you're not getting enough sleep or you're an insomniac. All of this stuff has come to its fruition. And it's time for you to have the warrior activation. This is the hero's journey mantra that is coming to illumination at the time of this full moon in Aries in your 12th house. And the mantra is, I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Okay, Gemini rising 11th house. Gemini rising 11th house. So there has come, the full moon is in its fruition, it's in its fullest. It's come to an end, right? And it's in the 11th house. So friendships, definitely friendships might have come to an end. And with that activation that happened on October 3rd, like I said, the South Node and Venus coming together, a lot of friendships might have, or groups might have ended, definitely because Gemini, this is hitting your 11th house. It's also things to do with the internet, online courses, anything online, the future, anything to do with inventions or technology or the next level of whatever technology. That's all 11th house. 11th house is also your hopes, wishes, and your dreams. It is the greatest good for all. It is humanity. So with all those 11th house themes, Gemini rising, there has you've come to the end because the moon is full and there might be a lot of fighting and there might be a call to defend yourself and talk yourself blue in the face when it comes to all those 11th house things, friends, groups, the internet. And I would strongly advise that you don't engage. You don't engage in perhaps the explosive words that are written and said amongst all those 11th house things because it's come to the end and it's in your 11th house. So, greatest good for all, future self. Keep your eye on that prize. Become the warrior. Become your own hero with this activation. This is the hero's journey mantra at the time of this full moon activating your 11th house. And it is, I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Keep that in mind, Gemini. Cancer rising 10th house, Cancer rising 10th house. So the moon is full in Aries up in your 10th house. And so with a full moon, it's always the end. It's the culmination point, the full harvest. It is done. You're now closing that door because that cycle is done. And it has to do with an Aries full moon in your 10th. 10th house is your career. It is your public status, what people see. Everyone can see what's happening up there in your life. It's also the father and boss energy, CEO energy. So it's your father, it's you becoming a father. It's your boss, it's you becoming a boss. It's a title change from Ms. to Mrs. Okay, or vice versa. So it's all those things that people can see, and it's an Aries full moon. It's come to the end. And with what's going on in the heavens right now, there could be a lot of explosive fighting, rage-filled words written and said and thought regarding all those 10th house things. So your greatest advice is to stay neutral, become the great observer. Don't engage if there is a lot of fighting, say at work or with your father, or regarding something that you lose in the 10th house. You might lose your career, you might lose your father, you know. Don't engage in the words. Become your own hero. Here's your hero's journey mantra to activate the warrior within when it comes to all those 10th house things. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Leo, ninth house. Leo rising, this is a ninth house activation for you. So the moon is full in Aries in your ninth house. So in other words, the moon is full. It's the end. It's the culmination point. It's come to its fruition. So this cycle is over. And it has to do with your ninth house. And there's some explosive words or thoughts, perhaps, when it comes to all things ninth house. I encourage you not to engage in the fighting energy, but there might be some fights regarding ninth house things for you. Religion, beliefs, your faith, other people's religions and faith and beliefs. Also overseas, some things with foreigners, people that are foreign to you and foreign countries, okay? Travel. It's also university. It's your studies. It's what you're teaching and what you're learning. Okay. And it's also things that are published. So books and stuff. So are you fighting with your book publisher? Are you fighting with someone in your family regarding religion? You know, like all of these, it might come up. The rage might come up regarding all those ninth house things, but the moon is full. It is over. It is time for you to take that step back, be the great observer regarding all those ninth house things. It has come to its fruition. And instead of engage, if you do notice the fighting and perhaps that kind of energy around you, for you, you can have a warrior activation in your ninth house regarding your beliefs and your faith and what you're learning and foreigners and foreign travel and book publishing and publishing in general. And you can have this hero's journey mantra, which says, I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Virgo rising, eighth house. Virgo rising, eighth house. Well, Virgos, woo, you just had those eclipses. Oh my God, in your sign. Oh my God. So here we go. We've got a full moon in your eighth house. The moon is full in Aries. It's come to its fruition. It has come to its culmination point. It's over. It's ended. A new cycle wants to begin. And so when it comes to eighth house, there might be some fighting because of what's going on in the heavens, and there might be some explosive words, and even in your own mind. And it could be really immature fighting, war-like energy regarding eighth house, which is your chunky money. So, family inheritance, money that is owed to you, money that you've invested with your spouse, money that you've invested in something. So it's that. It is a money house. The eighth house is a money house, but it's also the transformation house, right? So it's like maybe you've transformed your life. You might have lost a bunch of weight. You might have completely shifted your mindset. You did the shadow work and you've completely changed the way that you are and you've transformed. People might be very angry because now you're setting boundaries and you've transformed your life. People might be very angry because you deserve this inheritance. People might be very angry because you invested in this thing and they want their money and da 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 da. So these are all eighth house things, okay? The eighth house is completely transformational, okay? So people might be mad you're the butterfly now and you're not the caterpillar anymore, okay? But you're not changing. You couldn't go back if you even wanted to, right? So what you're keeping in mind, Virgo risings, is that the moon is full, it's ended, it's over. People around you might be fighting about all these eighth house things, and the rage might be building. And if so, that's okay. You can write that letter and burn it and all that jazz. And you can also have this warrior activation at the time of this full moon in Aries. And you can step onto your hero's journey regarding all those eighth house things. And you can say to yourself this mantra: I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Libra rising, seventh house. Libra rising, seventh house. The moon is full in Aries and it's in your seventh house. So it's come to an end. It's come to its culmination point, Libra rising. Okay, so the cycle is over. And it has to do with the people in your life. It's your seventh house. These are your people. It's your spouse. It's your best friends. It's your colleagues. Those people that, your business partner. It's your closest people that you're in relationship with. And maybe something has ended. It could be a huge ending, right? Regarding a relationship. It might be. But it also might just be a stage and a phase and a mindset regarding your relationships. And that's over now. And there's no need to fight. If there is fighting around you with these people in your life, you may let them fight. And if you do have that boiling rage within regarding all the people, those close people, you can write it, you can burn it. You don't need to say it, you don't need to engage, and you can have a warrior activation at the time of this full moon in Aries. And here's your hero's journey mantra regarding the closest people in your life. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Scorpio rising, sixth house. Scorpio rising, the Aries full moon is in your sixth house. Okay, so the moon is full in Aries. The moon is full, meaning it's at its culmination point. It is at its fullest. It's hard. It's done. The it's over. We close the door and that particular cycle is over. And so the people around you in the sixth house, stuff in your sixth house, there might be fighting. So this is the people at your work. Okay, so because sixth house rules your, colleagues, and it's your work. It's the work that you do every day, and it's your habits that you're doing every day. It's your every single day. It's your health. It is your health, your overall health, body, mind, and spirit. It is also your pets. Okay, so sixth house. Maybe if there's fighting, maybe there's explosive energy regarding your health. Maybe if you need to get it out, right? You do that letter and then you burn it. You don't send it, burn. Because it might be affecting your health, right? And that's not just your physical body, that's your emotional and your spiritual body as well. So there's come an end. What has come to an end regarding your health, regarding your work, regarding what you're doing daily? Okay, because if there's some negative fighting and immature stuff going on, that's okay because it's actually inviting you to have a warrior activation regarding your health, regarding your sixth house stuff. There is a warrior activation begging you to see at the time of this full moon. And it has to do with a healthier way, a habits that you do every single day that will be a new cycle for you. And you don't need to engage in any negativity that may or may not be showing up around you, okay? Because what you do daily, the work that you're doing every single day, you can have a warrior activation, and this can be your hero's journey mantra regarding all those sixth house things. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Sagittarius rising, fifth house. Sagittarius, how's it? Fifth house for you, Saggy. Okay, the fifth house is the fun house. So the full moon has come to its end. It can't get any more full. So it's like in your fifth house, it's showing you, and maybe there's going to be this explosive fighting, war energy regarding fifth house stuff, but it's come to its end, and a new cycle wants to come in regarding fifth house. Fun. Fifth house is fun and children. So, if you're trying to get pregnant, Now is the time, it's stuff like that. If you have children and say you're fighting with your grown children, it's showing you you don't need to do that. You can do another way. It's also like very creative. It's the creative house. So a creative project like a painting or like creating an online course. It's extremely creative. So what's coming up for you regarding all those fifth house fun, creative, children, joy, and if it's like a real lack of that at the time of this full moon and it's nothing but fighting with the kids and no joy and feeling no creativity, well, that's come to its end, right? And you're being encouraged to have a warrior activation in your fifth house so that you can have joy. You can have that creative download and you can have some more fun in your life. And so here's the hero's journey mantra for you in the fifth house. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Capricorn rising, fourth house. Capricorn rising, fourth house. This is hitting your fourth. So it's an angular house. I always say those angular houses, they always hit. And the full moon for you is down there in your family, house, home, property, your emotions. And it's an Aries full moon with this perhaps boiling rage, explosive energy. So maybe people in your family might be fighting. Da, 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 da. Or you might be fighting over real estate, home, property, maybe. The fourth house also represents your mother, so something to do with your mom. It doesn't mean that you need to engage in any of that. If that is happening, if that's boiling up within you, maybe you want to become a mother, or maybe there's something going on with your mother, or maybe it's a deep emotion coming through. Honor the emotions, okay? Write them out. Sit with it, honor the emotions. Fourth house is all about your emotional body, and it's also those things like house, home, property, real estate. So the moon is full. It has come to an end. Okay, the cycle is over, and there could be a lot of difficult things said. Emotions might be flying and flaring. So to take that step back, you don't need to engage. You don't need to talk yourself blue in the face, okay? And you can have a warrior activation regarding your deepest emotions, regarding house, home, property, real estate, regarding your mother. And you can be on a hero's journey at the time of this full moon in your fourth house. And here is the mantra. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Aquarius rising, third house. Aquarius rising, this full moon is happening in your third house. The third house is the junk drawer in astrology. So it's a lot of things, but if it's one thing, it's your communication skills. It's what you're saying, it's what you're writing, it's what you're thinking, and how you're communicating with it with yourself and communicating with others. So the moon has come to its fullness. It's the end. A new cycle wants to come in because the moon is full now. Things might be said and they might be difficult words, and it could be a lot of fighting and war when it comes to a war within yourself, a war with others. This is your family, this is your cousins and your friends, and this is your siblings, and this is people that feel like siblings, your best friends. This is your neighbors in your neighborhood. This is also short distance traveling, so getting in the car and going for a few hours. This is also, it's your car, it's your transportation. It's a lot of things. Third house is a lot of things, but so maybe there's some fighting. Maybe there's some hard words said with all of those third house things, but this is a warrior activation for you because the moon is full and it's in Aries, and the Aries in its highest expression is a hero. You're being asked to be a leader, and you're being asked to have a hero's journey mantra when it comes to all those third house things, right? And here's the mantra. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align to my highest timeline. And last but not least, Pisces, it's your second house. Pisces rising, this is your second house. This is your house of self-worth. And when you know your worth, the money flows because money is an energy exchange. Money is energy. When you know your worth, you get money in the bank. So the second house is a money house. And the second house is all about your worth, knowing your worth. So the full moon in Aries, it's come to its fruition. It's full in the sky. It's over. It's the end. It's closing the door on that cycle because a new cycle wants to come in. So what's happening? What's showing up for you regarding your worth, your self-worth, your money, the money that you earn, right? Is there fighting going on within yourself and your own self-worth? Is something going on with the money in your bank? With this full moon in Aries, there could be some very explosive words fighting regarding second house, your money, what are you worth? People might be putting you down for what they think you're worth. You know, it's not advised to engage in any kind of fighting at the time. And I am worth it and I'm worthy because, and then you're turning blue in the face. It's not advised to engage in that, but you are advised to embody high vibing Aries energy. High vibing Aries is a hero. They're on their own hero's journey. They're a leader, they're a pioneer, and they're doing it for themselves because they love themselves. So for you, this is a great activation to know your worth, simply because you are. And so your warrior activation on your hero's journey, this is your mantra regarding your second house. I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. Okay, that was an all signs forecast of this particular full moon at 14 degrees Aries. Yes, on October 6th at 9:47 p.m. PST. So depending on where you are on the planet, this full moon might be hitting on October the 7th. And this one is all about being your own hero. We don't need to engage in the fighting and the drama and the war that is happening not only out there in the world, but perhaps within our own social circles, within our families, and maybe even in our own minds and our own hearts. We don't need to engage in any kind of war. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars rules war in its lowest shadow vibe and fighting. But in its highest vibe, Aries is ruled by Mars. And the highest vibing Mars Aries people are heroes. They're pioneers. They're leaders. They're the entrepreneurs. They take the leap. They do the darn thing. They make up their mind and they do it. There's no room for whining and complaining because they're doing the darn thing and they are their own hero. They realize there's no need to blame anyone, including yourself, because you're going to get the job done. So, at the time of this full moon in Aries, we can all embrace and embody that high vibing Aries and Mars energy. However, Mars was squaring Pluto for the longest time, starting on September 26th. And now Mercury is taking Mars's spot, and Mercury is squaring Pluto at the time of this full moon. So, with that boiling rage that Mars square Pluto was bringing up, now that Mercury is squaring Pluto, it might come out because Mercury rules our words, Mercury rules our thoughts, Mercury rules what we write. And so it might be coming out, that rage might be coming out, and people might be fighting, and there might be a lot of war going on. And we're going to see it clearly because it's a full moon. We always see clearly at a full moon. And that's why we call them lunatics, because you can't hold it in anymore at a full moon. And that's why the hospitals are always full at a full moon. That's why babies are always born, because the cycle is over and it has ended. And so at this particular full moon at Aries, There will be people out there very upset and saying a lot of things, and I encourage you highly not to engage, not at all to over explain yourself, not to fight, but instead to embrace that high vibing Aries energy, which is all about being your own hero. And I've given you a hero's journey mantra at the time of this full moon. It is, I am my own hero. I will say and do what I need to do in order to align with my highest timeline. And at that, I'm going to pull a card at the time of this Aries full moon for further guidance. And here it is. We got the Page of Cups in reverse. So as a reader, this particular card for me, the Page of Cups, is the inner child. This is the inner child. And so she came in reverse. And so what that says to me is that a lot of people are not honoring that sacred rage that I was talking about. And when we do inner child work, what we do is we honor what is coming up to the surface. We honor that shadow and we say, okay, I honor you and I honor what you have to teach me. And it's saying this to your inner child. I honor you now. I'm willing to hear you now. So the shadow is the same thing as your inner child, if you will. The inner child and the shadow, the trigger, if you don't like the word shadow, the inner child and the trigger are the same thing. It's like, I've been trying to say something, but you keep saying, no, I don't want to hear it. You keep squashing it down. And the inner child might be saying, it's once and for all, it's time to deal with that trigger. Can you please listen to me? Can you please stop disowning me? Because that's what the inner child wants. That just wants to be heard. The inner child just wants to be heard and seen. The shadow just wants to be heard and seen. The trigger just wants to be heard and seen. It's all the same thing. And so for a lot of people, you might be having that realization like, oh, I haven't been honoring my inner child. Oh, I haven't been honoring my trigger. I haven't been honoring my shadow. And then for others that aren't on this journey and the people that are around you, people that you even love, they're your family, they're your friends, and you're noticing that they just continue the cycles, the negative loops. They're continuing on that journey. They're unavailable to hear any kind of feedback. They're unavailable to look at their own stuff. And the only thing they're available for is blaming and shaming others. And that's okay too. And we can take that great observer role. We can be the observer and go one step back from being an observer and being neutral and saying, oh, okay, so they're doing this. Oh, okay, so politics is doing that. Oh, okay, so just being neutral and the observer is where we're being called to be right now because not everybody's doing the work and that's okay. And so here is an oracle card to follow up. We got Sarah LaCalli. I think she's one of the last ones I got on my dailies in September as well. She's the queen of the outsiders. Yes, the Black Sheep Society, I think I named her. I have arrived. I am where I will always be in love. Yes, so we might be feeling this way, like we're the only ones doing the work. It's very lonely up here. Nobody's coming with me. Yes, 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 yes. And as high vibing Aries people do, they take the leap. They do the darn thing. They're the first to do it. They don't need the whole group behind them. They don't need any friends. They're doing the thing. And yes, it can be very lonely. And yes, it can feel very isolating on the hero's journey. The hero's journey can be a very lonely, isolating place. However, it's just a tiny little blip. It's just a little phase on that journey. The hero's journey that feels isolating and alone, that's just a blip because where you're actually going on a hero's journey is to your higher timeline. It's the next step. It's your level up. It's the next logical step. And to get there, you might be lonely. To get there, you might lose some friends. To get there, you might be alone. But when you're on that hero's journey, you are listening to the call of the inner child. You are listening to the call of the shadow, of the trigger, of that thing that won't leave you alone. It's like you can't drop the feeling. It keeps showing up and it keeps coming up in different relationships, in different circumstances, in different events. It keeps coming up until you finally honor it and you finally say, I am no longer going to disown you. And I'm going to feel it and I'm going to go through it because that hero's journey is awaiting me. So this full moon truly is activating the spiritual warriors out there, the warrior within. And if you feel lonely and isolated, it's normal. And I promise you, you're going to find your people. You're going to get on the right path. It's all unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to. And if others around you are engaging in fighting and war, we can bless them where they're at because we're going somewhere else. Okay. I hope that this full moon in Aries video has served you well. Please do share in the comments below, where does Aries fall in your natal birth chart? And tell me, how are these cosmos feeling for you? Can't wait to hear, and thank you so much to all my new subs out there. And share this with someone that you think will be served by knowing this information about what's happening this October 6th/7th in the cosmos. Take care.